Hey friends, Marty and Alana here from PSX 2017. Alana, you got to go hands-on with the Kara demo of Detroit Become Human. Now that was the big one that we saw at Paris Games Week, and there was a lot of controversy around it because it does handle like a lot of really heavy topics. So what did you think playing it?
I think that they handle it really well. So for context for anyone who hasn't seen, the trailer showed basically domestic abuse and things involving a child, and so people were pretty confronted by that because you don't have the context. So some stuff that I learned from playing it is this is really early on in Kara's story, so this is something that is kind of pivotal to her character and shapes everything she does beyond that point. It's not like it's just a middle ground, so it is a really significant thing. I don't think it's trivial, but it's also just all of the characters who are in that situation, which is awful, that at a certain point you try to mediate, are human. Like, even Kara as an android feels like a real character. Even the abusive guy Todd, who I absolutely passionately hated, wasn't just a monster. He was a guy who, despite using drugs and mature themes like that, was someone who was fragile and insecure and blaming himself for failures. So it's something that I think has been dealt with seriously and has taken care with. One thing that's like a little bit awkward to dance around is that you don't ever see any physical violence towards the child Alice. It's implied, so you know that it can happen. She can die. I don't know how that happened because I got an ideal outcome, kind of. But I think it's been handled with like very extreme care, and that's like the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing. I think we all agree like that the video games as a medium can tackle these certain issues, but you need the context. And I feel like a sizzle reel trailer during a press conference, like at Paris, there was a lot of backlash at that, and sort of I get it.
I understand why people reacted that way, and the thing that I find the most annoying about how that was all dealt with was people saying, oh, this isn't meant to be, like, this isn't entertaining. Abuse isn't entertaining.
Like, this isn't supposed to be titillating at all, right?
Right. Like, Detroit, I don't think is a game that is meant to be entertaining or a game that's meant to be fun. I think this is a game that, we know David Cage and the kind of games that he's made before, but I think this one, more than anything, is about human fragility, even through the androids, basically. I don't think this is a game that you're meant to like walk away from being like, I'm entertained. It's meant to challenge you and confront you, and I think that it's just a mature game that is for adult audiences, and I don't think that they've dealt with it badly. I don't think it glorifies violence or makes it fun. It's not meant to be. It doesn't have to be fun. Games don't have to be fun.
No, the same way movies don't have to be fun. TV shows don't have to be fun.
Exactly. We are allowed to have these kind of topics in the medium, and I think this is one that should deal with it well, but of course there are actually a lot of branches in this. We've heard it, the promise forever with a Telltale game, like every choice you make will affect the outcome. I truly believe that is actually true in Detroit based on, I saw a screen of all of the options for choices, and it's enormous. And I know what happened in my playthrough, but I know how differently it can end in someone else's. And I'm actually thinking this is going to be a game where we will all walk away with totally different stories.
When we had that, early on in the PS4 life cycle with Until Dawn, obviously a very different story, but it had that anyone can die, everyone can die. And it totally seems like we're getting a similar thing with this, with Connor and with Marcus and now with Kara. And I don't know, I'm personally, everything I've seen from this game, like I'm pretty excited for it. And it's one of those games in 2018 that I'm really excited to play.
I think it controls a little poorly. I don't think that it's as interestingly enough as a game is that great in that, the way that characters walk around is just like so blocky, and they walk into walls accidentally, and
hey, they're androids. That's what happens.
They are androids, it's true. But some of the stuff that I had to do in QTE sequences were, move a controller left or right really quickly, and it's like, that's kind of weird to me. But I don't think that's the point of Detroit. So I think it's fine. Like, it's a game that I think is going to be uncomfortable, but real and well written, and that's what I'm hoping for. So if it, some people will probably like the controls, but if it doesn't control perfectly, I don't really mind. That's not what I'm playing it for. So
cool. Thank you so much, Alana. Detroit is just one of the games coming in early 2018. So for everything else on Detroit and God of War and Spider-Man and Dreams, you're already in the right place. IGN.